Roxbury short stay rental law triggers debate. Harpersfield backs Home Rule Bill of Rights. CWC annual meeting celebrates its 2025 successes. These are some of the headlines this week. Welcome to CatskillsAir. I'm Jessica Murphy here with your latest local news. Joining me now, of course, is Matt Avitable, editor and publisher of the Mountain Eagle and Catskills Chronicle. Welcome, Matt. The debate over short-term rentals continues in Roxbury. Why did so many folks question the law proposed in June?
This is a follow-up here to something that we've talked about before. The main concerns were safety and fire resilience, and the proposed legislation states that it is intended to provide for the minimum health and safety requirements for use of short-term rentals in Roxbury. While that statement seems straightforward, ultimately at the public hearing on July 13th, at least 20 individuals raised concern. Many residents suggested that the law was also proposed to help with housing sustainability in the town, and residents noted that there is no research proving a correlation between short-term rental properties and the rise of housing affordability. We wound up with some statistics coming to the meeting itself. We wound up having a number of residents talking about the belief that the legislation as proposed leaves the tourism market at risk. There was even more of a debate there during the meeting. Steve Williamson's wife also addressed the board regarding some concerns. She spoke about what would happen to her husband's health insurance after his retirement. The town also decided to defer to the town attorney before making any further decisions.
Another topic that continues to spark debate, food trucks. Margaretville will hold a public hearing before their monthly village board meeting. What is the issue?
Absolutely. The whole public is invited to the July 21st public hearing. That's at 4:45 at the Gottfried Building, right on Main Street. The regular board meeting will follow. If you have any comments, make sure to make it.
Wording on a new dog law has people growling in Harpersfield. What's the issue? And explain the Home Rule Bill of Rights to our viewers.
The dog law was ultimately tabled for now. The committee of two will continue proposing a dog law for the town of Harpersfield, intending to leave something on the books that can be enforced. One of the big topics, though, came regarding home rule. This is something that came up in a number of municipalities in the last month. The Bill of Rights resolution supports home rule over state mandates and seeks to protect the power of home rule. And a lot of these towns state that they feel that the state has meddled in a lot of their affairs and that they want more autonomy. Harpersfield ultimately supported this idea, calling many of the state's actions unfunded mandates, and they felt like the state was forcing many of these towns to provide programs without providing funding.
Catskills Watershed Corporation held its annual meeting Tuesday and drew a crowd. Besides many citizens and local politicians, New York City and state officials were on hand, including Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado, Congressman Mark Molinaro, and Assemblyman Chris Tague. More than $20 million has been invested into communities throughout 5 local counties last year. CatskillsAir spoke with CWC Executive Director Jason Merwin about the challenges ahead.
The next handful of years, some of the things that we're expecting are additional retirements and staff turnover at some of our partner agencies. So we're going to have to offset that by making sure that people understand the history of the CWC organization and the water supply and all of the things that we do to make sure that it's a smooth transition. Additional items that we need to work on are related to contracting and ensuring we have additional on-hand funding so we can continue to be efficient with our grant applications, reviews, and disbursements of funds. So keeping the administration in line is always the key to making sure we're efficient.
You can view the full meeting on CWC's Facebook page. The monthly Middletown board meeting was preceded by 2 public hearings, the first on residency of elected officials and the second concerned the community block grant. Matt, explain where this issue now stands.
The first one received no public comment as the town considered whether or not to allow individuals from surrounding municipalities to hold town positions. The requirements were proposed as the town often struggles to find qualified individuals that live strictly in the town of Middletown. The second public hearing was held to gather some information about a potential CDBG block grant. This would be administered by the MARC project, and ultimately representatives of the MARC project spoke and answered a number of questions. Middletown was awarded that $500,000 through CDBG to to provide safe, decent, and sanitary housing for low to moderate income individuals. Supervisor Glenn Faulkner talked about a number of other items, including receiving correspondence from the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, or DEP, notifying the town of their intent to solicit proposals for commercial agriculture on several parcels in the town. These include Big Red Kill Road, Thompson Hollow Road, and near Cemetery Road. Permitted agriculture will include haying, row crops, and grazing.
Stamford Board also went to the town's Bill of Rights concerning building fee increases.
Stamford lent its support for the same bill that Harpersfield is supporting regarding home rule. With that, the hope is to have more autonomy over these state mandates, and ultimately, the town of Stamford decided to back it as well. But that wasn't the only discussion at the meeting. They also received some updates on the road crew side and code enforcement. The code officer, Tommy Tompkins, was present as requested and gave monthly reports and said that he caught up on his permits, but the town does need to update its fee schedule. It has not been updated since he took office in 2008, and it looks like that is something that the town is going to consider.
More swimming and fun may be coming to Delhi. The town council discussed a rec department at its monthly meeting.
Delhi has been working hard on these projects for the last several years, and with that, the town board members discussed the need for a potential recreation department after that request for commercial use of town property. It all came from a request from Rebecca Mowers, who requested the use of the pool to host a private one-on-one swim lesson after swim hours and noted the passion for helping individuals stay safe around water. Supervisor Maya Bukai felt that the request should be reviewed on a larger scale, including commercial use of any town property. And as the town continues these beautification efforts, it looks like the town is going to consider this more strongly, as some of the board members agreed with the supervisor's intent.
The Bovina town meeting was short but productive. Topics ranged from insurance inspections to broken highway equipment and more.
July 14th meeting was relatively brief, but they were able to talk about several important issues. The town insurance provider conducted its annual inspection. There were no red flags, but they made several suggestions for improvements. All children at play signage should be removed, as it provides a false sense of security to children, according to the company, and increases liability for the town. And another note was for the highway department to review and evaluate motor vehicle records from all employees annually, and that the department should use a program that indicates whether any license has been revoked. Highway Superintendent Ed Weber said that the DMV does notify the town if anyone has their license revoked. The DPW also had a further discussion, as Weber said that he's researching the purchase of a new loader using state consolidated highway funding. There's a provision within the state DOT that might allow for such a purpose. The current loader, which was purchased about 4 years ago, has been out of commission now for about a year, and the town is renting a loader.
Now, this one doesn't surprise us or anyone who's been outdoors this summer, but Delaware, Schoharie, and Greene counties took the top spot for ticks. Matt, this one is not an honor to boast about, is it?
This is an award I wish we hadn't won, and unfortunately, speaking from experience, there have been a lot of ticks in the area, and as our viewers and watchers know, they're far more dangerous because they can carry these different pathogens. Our area has an elevated risk of getting tick bite. Unfortunately, we have some statistics in this week's paper that Delaware County is the 10th highest in the region for cases of tick bites and Lyme disease. Greene County ranks number 26 and Schoharie ranks number 16. So we're near the top in the entire Northeast. Just make sure long clothes, long sleeves. Avoid areas where ticks might be. Put on bug spray and more. Chickens, I hear, help a lot if you have the space to have them.
But SUNY Delhi has achieved more boasting rights. The college just received a major grant. What will the $300,000 be used for?
The O'Connor Foundation came through for the community again, granting $300,000 to SUNY Delhi as Delhi is expanding its applied technology. This is going to build and equip state-of-the-art laboratories within the new facility, which will be built on the site of North Hall. It's going to be 15,000 square feet and expected to open in 2030. The college is very grateful for this funding, and ultimately the hope is that paired with state money, And with the commitment from the college, it will modernize learning spaces and increase enrollment capacity for applied technology programs while helping the local workforce.
More concerts have been canceled at Levon Helm Studios in Woodstock. A continuing battle over management is the reason cited in this week's The Overlook, a local web-based news site. There are a lot more details in the article. The boys of the summer old school baseball came out to play and raise some dough. A good time and a good cause, right, Matt?
This one was great. They raised more than $450 at a fun event for a great cause. It was a great triple threat. As anyone who's watched any of the classic baseball games can tell you, they're a lot of fun. They're completely free. Ultimately, the Fleischmann's Mountain Athletic Club, or the Max, wound up hosting this fledgling 1859 Rip Van Winkle Baseball Club for this match to help with the restoration of the Wellington. The Wellington has closed in on its $10 million funding goal, but there's always more to go. With that, we wound up seeing the MAC masquerading as the Wellington Blueberry Baseball Club of Pine Hill. They beat the Rip Van Winkles in both games using rules dating back to 1864.
Turning to law and order, several people were arrested after a lengthy investigation into a series of burglaries in Delhi.
This one stems from April, when sheriff's deputies received a call from Delaware County Electric Co-op regarding a meter that had been forcefully removed from an electric pole, and the nearby residents showed signs of forced entry. It's a longer story attached, but there was an investigation, and on April 27th, deputies conducted a traffic stop of a motor vehicle in the Grand Gorge area for multiple traffic violations. The operator, who appeared to be impaired by drugs, was identified as 58-year-old Christine McGraw of Gilboa. She was recognized as a person wanted by the state police in Oneonta. The passenger was 45-year-old Leon Grizzard of Stamford, who was also wanted by the Delaware County Sheriff's Office on multiple felony charges related to a string of burglaries. So with that, we wind up having a number of charges against both, including criminal possession of a controlled substance in the 3rd degree, conspiracy in the 4th degree, criminally using drug paraphernalia, driving while ability impaired by drugs, criminal possession of a controlled substance, criminal mischief, conspiracy, petty larceny, and, of course, several charges of burglary.
A 4th of July stabbing led to the arrest of a Delhi man.
On July 4th, sheriff's deputies were dispatched to the site of a complaint which occurred at the Buena Vista Motel in Delhi. And upon arrival, deputies discovered that the victim had suffered from a serious injury as a result of having been stabbed. After investigation, deputies arrested and charged Christopher Bernhardt of Delhi. He was charged with a number of alleged crimes, including assault in the 1st degree, assault in the 2nd degree, menacing, and more. During the course of the investigation, deputies also arrested Colin Bush of Delhi, age 34, for obstructing governmental administration in the 2nd degree, which is a Class A misdemeanor.
Another Oneonta resident was arrested for texting harassment.
Lane Sear, age 34, of Oneonta, had allegedly communicated threats to a victim via text messages and was unable to be located at the time before being arrested July 2nd.
A Stamford man was arrested for driving under the influence of drugs following a crash.
56-year-old Stephen Sanzone of Stamford was arrested after an accident investigation following this crash. He wound up being charged with driving while ability impaired by drugs and a number of traffic summonses.
A Davenport woman was nabbed at a traffic stop for driving while drugged.
This stems from a July 2nd incident in which a vehicle was traveling along State Route 23 in Davenport with an uncovered load. Traffic stop was conducted, and the driver of the vehicle was identified as 48-year-old Pam Ostrander of Davenport. She wound up being charged with DWAI by drugs, which is a misdemeanor.
Well, it sounds as if our law enforcers had a very busy few weeks, so please don't get behind the wheel if you're getting high. On a more uplifting note, a community project in Roxbury is bringing people together, one drop at a time, of water, that is.
I really like this one. The Community Drops Collective Banner Project is a free community-wide public art initiative which was conceived by Bronx-based interdisciplinary artist and educator Dennis Redmoon Darkeem. There's a picture here of the project and of Dennis. It's going to be part of his residency at Roxbury Arts Group from August 3rd to August 8th. If you want to find out more, including the art, the intention behind it, and potentially get involved, it's in this week's paper.
As the world turns, so does reporter Lorcan Otway's coverage of A Circle of Life. This is another enlightening article, right, Matt?
This one regards the excellent mosaic artwork of Suzanne Fortin. She teaches to students, and Lorcan wound up interviewing her and getting some really good photos. There's a lot of work that comes into mosaic art. It's a really pretty form and one that is being preserved by Suzanne. If you want to find out more about her work or learn a little bit, take a look at it. One of her lessons that she teaches sounds really interesting, called Cathedral Glass. It's a really neat look into art by Lorcan this week.
Well, for more on these and other articles, pick up a copy of the Mountain Eagle or Catskills Chronicle. But Matt, how about a quick look at what's coming up next week?
There'll be more debate over this home rule idea that is now being circulated in Albany. We'll also have more county coverage as the Delaware County Board of Supervisors will have their July meeting. We're also going to be looking at a number of summer events as the summer really starts to heat up, both literally and figuratively, in the next week.
Well, thanks for keeping us all up to date, and we will see you next week. And now it's time to talk sports. Here's John with the dilemma facing young athletes in the Northeast.
It's a fact. Young baseball players growing up in the Northeast face higher barriers when forging a path into the professional ranks than young prospects from other parts of the country. Part of the issue is defined by Mother Nature. Long, harsh winters and overall colder temperatures shrink the available outdoor playing time for kids in the Northeast to just a few months. That significantly reduces the sheer volume of reps, that being at-bats and innings pitched, available to baseball playing kids growing up in Sunbelt states. In addition, professional and Division I college scouts heavily target regions in the South and the West Coast where prospects play year-round. And it's those locales that sponsor young baseball showcase events. Another limiting factor, high school baseball is the standard baseball pipeline in the Northeast, whereas the rest of the country relies heavily on year-long travel ball circuits like Perfect Game or USA Baseball, platforms providing stiffer competition and better access to scouts. That's not to say that it's impossible for kids who play baseball in the Northeast to be discovered. In fact, there is one upstate region that has become noted as a baseball pipeline. It includes Delaware County. No, I'm sorry, not our Delaware County here in New York, rather Delaware County in Pennsylvania. Locally referred to as Delco, Delaware County, Pennsylvania is the state's third smallest county in area, yet the fifth largest in population. Last week, the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, staged at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, brought home two of the Northeast's biggest baseball stars. One, the Los Angeles Angels' Mike Trout, 34 years old, a baseball legend, paving a path to baseball's Hall of Fame and making his 12th All-Star appearance. The other, a rookie, Kevin McGonigal, 21, a shortstop who plays for the Detroit Tigers, who this year has exploded on the MLB scene. He was 9 years old when Trout made his first All-Star Game appearance. Trout, who is hobbled by injuries in most recent seasons, cherished the opportunity to be playing in the All-Star Game close to home, admitting at this stage of his career, this might be the last time to enjoy such an honor. I never take anything for granted in this game. You never know when your last game is or when an injury can pop up, Trout told the baseball press. For his part, McGonigal used his rookie All-Star appearance to buy a section of tickets to thank so many Delaware County folks who were part of his baseball journey, his inner circle of family, friends, former teammates, and coaches, people who assisted him on the way. I want everyone here who helped me get here, the appreciative rookie would say. I wouldn't be in this seat without them. I think they should take the whole experience in with me. Mike Trout and Kevin McGonigal grew up in different corners of the region at different times, but watching the same Philadelphia team. Both were boyhood Phillies fans. And last week, both returned home to play at Philadelphia's Citizens Bank Park as All-Stars. That's our sports report for this week.
Thanks, John. The Friends of Roxbury in the Catskills Facebook page was buzzing with sightings and concerns for a mama fox with mange. The critter and her kits are keeping low near Wayne Bank. She's been given medicine and now someone is feeding her chicken legs. If you see the foxes or other animals that look in distress, please contact local animal control or wildlife rehabilitator, Friends of the Feathered and Furry Wildlife Center. They're a great resource. So what does Elizabeth have coming up in arts and entertainment? Let's find out.
Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Focus on the Arts news spot. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Gallery 40 in Poughkeepsie, wonderful little gallery tucked in Poughkeepsie. Bits and Pieces, it opened July 1st, runs to July 26th. Featured artist is William P.K. Carter. Taking bits of life and arranging it back in a cohesive way, using collage and assemblage, a wonderful way to take all the parts of ourselves and make something beautiful and harmonious, or not. So this will be a wonderful event to go to. Gallery 40, catch the last of it before it closes. Gilboa Museum in Gilboa, right past the New York Authority building. Wonderful little museum with incredible fossils and information to figure out and find from our counties and areas. They've had a wonderful show called 1,000 Words. Art with a narrative. Art that tells a story. And it's going to be also ending on the 27th. So you want to get there and check out the last bits of that. Women's Work Art Gallery in Poughkeepsie, an open call. The deadline is August 30th. The exhibition date is October 2nd to the 25th. This is Symbolism, Transformation, a tarot-themed group exhibition, your interpretation of the major and minor tarot cards. If you've never used tarot cards, this might be something you want to explore and check out. Tarot cards have always been known for having incredible art, and it still remains to this day. You can find many kinds of interpretations of tarot cards, and they're all beautiful and spectacular, and this is a way to add your voice to that thought by creating something that might coincide with some of the cards of the major and minor arcana, from Priestess to Knight to Page to Nine of Swords. So get out there, check these open calls, submit your work. Even if you're not sure, submit. You have nothing to lose. So have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for watching Focus on the Arts. Keep an eye out for our interviews. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Here are a couple of other cool events. Friday night kicks off Bel Air Resort's annual Music on the Bell. Headlining this weekend is Lara Hope, and the Arctones show begins at 6. Also Friday, the 2026 AMR Studio Tour opens and returns for the weekend, so drive yourself and your friends on this popular free tour to the personal workspaces of local Catskills creator. Visit Artists and Andy's to Roxbury, get your route map before heading out, and gather Thursday night at 1053 Gallery in Fleischmann's. Certainly everyone is breathing a little better now that that wildfire smoke from Canada has died down some. But will it continue? Will it clear up with some rain? Let's see what our upcoming weather looks like.
Good day, Catskill Mountain friends and neighbors. It's Lori with CatskillsAir, bringing you your work week weather update for the beautiful, pristine to highly wacky and unpredictable in weather Catskill Mountain region. And after a cool down for the weekend, we're going to continue that cool down throughout the week ahead. It's going to feel more like fall than it is summer. However, we need that rain and that cool down, and hopefully it'll clear out all that smoke. So let's give it a go and check out what's happening in the Catskill High Peaks for your work weekend weather. On Monday, we can expect mostly sunny skies with temps in the low to mid 70s, winds out of the west-southwest at 5 to 10. Overnight, we have partly cloudy skies, giving way to cloudy skies after midnight. Temps are going to dip back to the mid to upper 50s, winds out of the south at 5 to 10. On Tuesday, we have rain showers in the morning with numerous thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening hours. We have the potential for severe thunderstorms with extreme wind. Temperatures are only going to reach the low 70s with winds out of the south at 10 to 15. And overnight, we have more showers and severe thunderstorms. Temps are going to dip back to the low 60s, winds out of the south-southwest at 5 to 10. On Wednesday, we have light rain in the morning, the chance for thunderstorms in the afternoon with strong winds. Temps are only going to top out in the upper 60s, possibility of 70, winds out of the west at 10 to 15. Overnight, we have showers before midnight, then turning partly cloudy with temps dipping back to the low 50s, winds out of the west-northwest at 5 to 10. On Thursday, we have a mix of sun and clouds, very cool temperatures. We're only going to reach the low 70s, winds out of the west-northwest at 5 to 10. Overnight, we have very clear skies with cool conditions. Temps in some areas of the Catskill Mountains will reach the upper 40s, and some areas will reach 50 overnight. Winds out of the north-northwest at 5 to 10. And on Friday, we have mostly sunny skies with the temperatures on the rise to the mid-70s, winds light and variable. And overnight, we have partly cloudy skies with the temps dipping back to the upper 50s, winds light and variable. As I bid you farewell, remember that weather and temperature changes on a dime, especially in the beautiful Cats. Be sure to join me for your weekend weather update because the temperatures are going to be on the rise and it's going to feel more like summer once again. So see you then from somewhere in the Cats.
Check out our channel this week. 2 new shows worth catching. First, Lauren Daniels' Trio concert recently held in Margaretville. It's a blend of jazz and meditations. And join our youngest reporter, Saya, on her visit to the annual 4th of July Margaretville Carnival and Fireworks. Well, that's it for CatskillsAir News. If you see something out there, let us know. I'm Jessica Murphy. Bye for now.